my mother, who is the co-founder of the brand,
Yes.
she has not studied fashion, but she has this great sense of aesthetic, which she's been pursuing, since like we were kids. Two recipes which are there for content is like, one is showing up,
Yeah.
and second is showing up consistently. I think marketing का एक ही advertising का फंडा है कि you have to be where your customer is.
Yeah.
तो अगर आपका customer Instagram पे है
तो
तो
Instagram.
आपको Instagram पे
Yeah.
होना ही है. We just clicked some photos in our house with, I don't know why, but our first photos are like without our faces because I don't know why, there's no reason.
Yeah,
for
maybe just
explanation.
yeah.
And we put it on social media, we created a page.
Yeah.
And then suddenly in like a couple of days we got the first order.
Hmm.
So I was really shocked. Like
Yeah.
घर पे बैठे ये order केरला गोवा से आ रहे हैं. So we were like, hey, चलो let's make more clothes.
Yeah. Hi everyone, this is Saili Marathe from House of Adya and welcome you all to this episode of Generation 1 with none other than my favorite entrepreneur. I love to watch her content. Please welcome Lekhini of Indian Ethnico. Thank you so much, Lekhini. Finally, we have met.
Yes, long
And
due.
this is happening. First of all, I would like to thank you on behalf of Team Adya for taking out time for this interview. Really, the cause of this particular podcast is to create hope in every entrepreneur who's watching us. And who else than somebody like you, who actually had a chance to take a safe cushion job but chose to do this. So, I'm going to start with your childhood. Tell us a little about yourself, where are you from, and about your education.
Sure. I think before I begin, I think I have to thank you for doing this. And I'm so glad we met, and I'm so happy that you're doing this. And I think inspiring and giving hope, as you mentioned, to so many of, especially women entrepreneurs out there who are looking at that inspiration to really get started. So thank you so much for this. And I think the fondness for your brand is same. I have seen Adya's journey, and I think what you do is beautiful. So I think feelings are mutual.
Thank you.
And I think talking about childhood, I'm basically from Ahmedabad. So my mom is from Ahmedabad. I was born in Ahmedabad, and she got married here, and then she's come here. So I've been brought up in Bombay, and so for me, like, my background has been purely creative. So I'm a trained dancer.
Oh,
I have done Odyssey for about 20-25 years, and I have worked as an assistant choreographer for Ramleela, where I've trained the actors.
Oh,
I'm also
lovely.
there in the song Nagada Sang Dhol,
Oh, really?
the song in the movie.
Fact check.
And also happened to work with Shah Rukh Khan in the movie Rais for
Oh,
the song Udi Udi Jaye. So I mean, dance has been a core part
of your life.
of my life.
Yeah.
I've performed internationally and in India on stage, so that's been it. I've also been an actor,
Yeah.
done a lot of theatre, Gujarati theatre, acted in a lot of movies when I was a child artist.
So very
Like
interesting.
Khiladi, 400 Beans, and I've done a lot of ads as well.
Yeah.
Ads like Pears, then Lakme, etc. as like a child artist, and yeah, I mean, so creative. The creative part has always been there since childhood, and so my mother, who is the co-founder of the brand,
Yes.
she has not studied fashion, but she has this great sense of aesthetic, which she's been pursuing, since like we were kids.
Yeah.
When she came from Ahmedabad to Bombay, she just didn't want to be a housewife. She really wanted to do something.
Yeah.
And cottons is what she loved. So she
Hmm.
did have a small setup back then before I was born.
Oh,
But
lovely.
yeah, she used to do designing on a smaller scale. She had a small setup, and after we kind of we came
You
in the
were born,
picture, and
yeah.
my sister was born. She kind of gave that up because she felt like it. I don't know how mothers and parents do it. I mean, it's
Yeah. She wanted to dedicate.
she wanted to dedicate her life to kind of getting and getting us where we are today. So she's taken that effort to kind of train us in dancing, take us to classes.
Yeah.
She loved she wanted us to do modeling, etc. So she took us for all the auditions, etc., and we got that exposure. So she kind of gave her dreams a setback and put us on the front foot. And all these years, it was always her who kind of made clothes for us.
Oh,
So we-
interesting.
Yeah, we never used to really buy clothes because we came from a middle class family.
Yeah.
We did not have that kind of money to really buy.
I think it was not even part of culture to
It was-
buy so many brands at that point.
Exactly. And plus, whatever she really liked for us was never really available in the market as such. So,
I understand. Yeah.
she really felt that it was only the way that she could design is when we could really wear it. So and whenever I look back at my photos as I was a kid, my clothes were never like, oh, I don't regret looking at those photos and saying, "Arey, ye kya meri mummy ne mujhe pehnaया hai?" Because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
always so
Yeah.
nice. Like when the DDLJ Kajol Halterneck came, like I had like all my photos were of those dresses
Oh, lovely.
and a crop top, and like they are like all in fashion now, but like I had worn it back then.
Back then. Yeah.
So she was really ahead of her time, and she like even is now. So every time like my sister and I used to wear clothes, people used to ask us, "Oh, where did you get it from?"
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
and then we used to say that it's my mom who makes these clothes, and then I also had a couple of friends who used to come over and kind of ask my mom to make it for them. So I mean that's been her design journey of like
Yeah.
getting us where.
So I actually see the germ in your entire childhood. Like from what you've been creating online, like when we see your content, we really love it because as I said just when I came, it's so relatable. Like everybody can identify it. Because क्या हो जाता है usually if you see a celebrity or somebody who's larger than life putting out a content, you're like, oh, it's looking nice, but on me, I don't know.
Yeah.
So when you do that content, the finessing your dance, I think now we all know why we see such amazing content on your handle. But even before that, I think the entire design ethos of your brand has a germ in your childhood because your mom was always doing it for you guys.
Yes, I mean I completely agree. It's all her in terms of design that you see. And for us, it was always that when we started the brand, it was we are a bootstrap brand, so we did
Yes.
not have that funds to really hire a model, etc. And then I mean, my sister has
You've
also
always been doing.
we've always been doing it, and like she's an extra small or a small, and I'm an XL. So and we are quite comfortable
Yeah.
with our bodies.
Yeah.
And I mean the size becomes irrelevant. And
Yeah.
then we thought that why not just do it ourselves, and then people really started relating to to
Yeah.
our faces,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
just said. And like every time we meet them in person, there's so much of happiness that they
Yeah.
have, and we also have on meeting them, because they do feel really related with what products they see, and they see it on different bodies.
Yeah.
They see it on a person that they can really connect to. So I think that's really been the brand the differentiation for us.
Yeah, sure. Also, when you were talking about this fact that you were never hardly buying clothes from outside, and
Yeah.
your mom was always making it because there was this market gap that what she wanted for you, she never found
Yeah.
in the market. So actually, with Adya also, there's a similar story that I used to never like the color of gold. And what used to happen is wherever I used to go and somebody used to wear gold, I used to always think in my mind, what if this was made in silver? It would have looked so nice.
Lovely.
Because I always loved cotton and linen and all those clothes
Yeah.
as growing up. And I was like, or maybe this, t-shirts and
Yeah.
denims. And then I used to feel that I should have small stud in silver. I should
Yeah.
have a lot of chains in silver. I
Yeah.
should have rings in silver. And that wasn't very easily available at that point.
Correct.
So I think the germ is, always somewhere
In
in
you.
the childhood. That's why I always ask, I always start this interview with this question of childhood, because kuch to element is always there in your childhood.
Makes sense.
Either the business part of it or the creative part of it.
Yeah.
Now we have covered the creative part of it, but I also want to understand like the business side of it. Is there a business background in your family? Have you seen your father or uncles or somebody in the family doing business, and that's why you kind of got inspired to start this? And how did you actually get to starting the brand?
Yeah. Honestly, like बचपन में I used to wonder कि लोग business कैसे करते हैं. Like,
हाँ.
that was the biggest question mark I had.
Achha.
Even till like my early adulthood and in 20s, like how do you do a business? Because none of None of my family members come from a business background.
Acha, really?
None.
You are a Gujarati, right?
We are a Gujarati. Yeah, we are a
Surprise.
Gujarati family. Because in our community, so I mean, like all religions have a subset.
Yeah.
So Nagars are known to be on the more creative side or
Okay.
hold like more professional jobs, like a lawyer, doctor.
Yeah.
So like my entire family has been in the creative field. My grandmother was a singer.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah, my uncle was a writer. He is no more. His name was Neeraj Vora. He's written movies like
Oh,
Hera
yeah,
Fairy,
yeah.
Hera Fairy.
Everybody knows it.
So even like my cousins, they are into movies, music, or classical singers.
Yeah.
My dad has learned classical singing. He's also been a dancer.
Oh, lovely.
So, and my another uncle is a ghazal writer.
Okay.
So it's
It's in the family.
It's-
Yeah. So there's no business in the
there
family.
is no business and
Yeah.
there's no corporate job also.
Yeah.
Like, and even the people who've been working are all professionals. So like
Mm.
either lawyers, doctors, etc. So
Yeah.
nobody understands business as such.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, growing up, that was a puzzle and a
Hmm.
mystery that I had.
But you
to
thought
know.
about it.
And I
Yeah.
actually never thought about it, and this
Acha.
was quite accidental because I knew that I wanted to do either dancing, and then when I started growing up, I realized that dance is a lot of struggle. To really make it a career that can earn you good money.
Yeah.
Back then, now it's I think with
Now it's
social
changed.
media and all, the
Yeah.
landscape is really changing. But coming from a middle class family, your aspiration is to really first earn money,
Be on
be
your feet.
independent,
Yeah.
support your family, and then maybe dreams
Yeah.
which make practical sense you can really take up, but otherwise you really have to be practical and do things which
Yeah.
make sense at that point in time,
Or balance.
or balance.
Yeah.
So dance has always been a part, but I was also good in academics. Like I was not like the number one, number two, but I was in the top 10 kind of in
Yeah.
the class. But I was also great at dancing, etc. So I've always tried to find a balance, and then I did my MBA from NMIMS because I thought that I think I need
A
to
solid degree.
Yeah, exactly. So I really wanted to do an MBA and then work in a marketing in an FMCG company.
So you worked?
I did work with ITC, so I got a campus
lovely.
placement from NMIMS. A great package,
Yeah.
like all B schools in marketing
Correct.
you would get. So I worked with ITC. I was in Vizag for a year, and so just before I got into MBA, mom was feeling that kind of life had come to a full circle for her,
Yeah.
and अभी मेरी दोनों बेटियां मतलब हो गया
On
है,
their own.
or they're on
Yeah.
their own. My sister got into her MBBS college, and I got into my MBA. So that time she felt that like life had come to a full circle for
Yeah.
her, and so that's when I thought that Instagram was just taking shape. So I told her that now is the time that you should take up what you do,
Yeah.
what you do best, which is creating great clothes. So
Yeah.
randomly we visited an exhibition and purchased cotton fabrics, and we always used to do that because
Yeah.
as I mentioned, we used to always, my mom used to always make the clothes
Just to
for
love
us.
it. Yeah.
And then we just clicked some photos in our house with, I don't know why, but our first photos are like without our faces because I don't know why, there's no reason.
Yeah. Maybe
for
just
it.
Yeah.
Maybe we wanted to look professional, so we wanted to hide the faces.
Yeah. You never know what you're doing at that.
You exactly, you never know. तो ऐसे ही तुक्के में हम लोग ने घर पे दरवाजे के पास फोटो क्लिक किया and we put it on social media. We created a page.
This is, you remember the timeline? Like
Yeah, this was in 2016.
16. Okay.
So 2016, I was just getting off from my old job before I did my MBA and getting into MBA. Then वो बीच में थोड़ा time था, so I was like, let's do time pass. मतलब
Correct,
let's help. Let's see like
Hobby
if this can be a
types,
hobby for her.
Yeah.
And like a back burner project where I can help her. So I was doing like the social media, and then we did that page, and then suddenly in like a couple of days we got the first order. So I was really shocked. Like
Yeah.
घर पे बैठे ये order Kerala, Goa से आ रहे हैं. So we were like, hey, chalo, let's make more clothes.
Yeah.
So then we started making 10-15 clothes, and we started putting up some images that way only without faces.
And sell out.
And it started selling, and then it kind of, we were still pursuing that as a hobby on a very small scale. मतलब वो week में 3 order आते थे. वो social media पे सबको post करके जवाब देना, order लेने. We used to make it with our local
Facebook
tailor.
page?
Facebook page and Instagram page.
Yeah.
वैसे ही, and take orders on either a DM or a message and WhatsApp and deliver it. So I used to be in my lectures and I used to answer
Yeah.
those queries. Mom used to pack the goods and
Yeah.
then send it to the delivery boys via the post, etc.
Ah.
So ऐसे करते करते during my MBA only it kind of gained a lot of traction. We got like the first 30,000-50,000 followers
Oh, lovely.
in a couple of months. And so then I also started getting busy. Like between the lectures, I used to manage that, and तो 2 साल तो उसमें ही निकल गए, and we kind of grew as a side project, but seriously as a side project because it was fun, like
Correct.
earning money,
Yeah.
and this is not a plan that you did,
Yeah.
you know,
Doing what you
seriously.
like.
You're doing what you like, and it started gaining traction, and then. But my plan was always to kind of do a job because, I mean, the earnings that we were earning at that time was not comparable to what
A job would
CTC,
give
a
you.
package that
Yeah.
was going to give me, like an ITC would give me. And so I got my internship, and then I converted into like a final offer. So I was all headed to go to, and I joined, and I joined the corporate. So there were 2 months between MBA getting over and the new job starting. And that's when I thought कि ये इतना अच्छा build हो गया है, भले जितना भी छोटा है, but I could see that there is
A future to this.
yeah, this could be
Yeah.
something, and I did not want to really
Let it go. Yeah.
and so that's when I thought कि अभी mom was not that socially savvy, so with me with a job it was not going to be easy to manage a manual order taking business. So then I was like कि website चालू करते हैं. And I figured, and then I stumbled upon on Shopify. And we did not have the money to kind of pay a developer to make that website.
So you only figured it
So
out.
yeah, like how all of us, I'm sure, must have done it. Read, figured, made the basic website.
Yeah.
Product shoot ऊपर terrace पे या नीचे खीरानगर में where you are right now.
Yeah.
पीछे जाके
Yeah.
we used to click
Yeah,
on our phone and upload it. And then I realized कि खाली website बनाना नहीं होता है, तो लोग को you have to send, like you have to send some traffic on it. Otherwise it will not move. So then I learned digital marketing, and I started testing with small budgets, and suddenly from like doing like I think 10 lakhs a year in the first year of making the website, it jumped to like 1 crore because of
This is 2018.
2018. So I was shocked
Yeah.
कि मतलब ये website ने क्या कर दिया.
Correct.
And then I was, that 1 year I was in Calcutta managing the website, marketing from there.
With your job.
With my job.
Yeah.
And mom, who had no help, here was managing, doing the production, sending the orders, etc. And then beach mein when I came back, I realized that she had learned herself, मतलब computer तो she's 55.
Yeah.
And people of the generation are not
Computer savvy.
they are not computer savvy,
Yeah.
they are not technological, they're technologically challenged.
Yeah.
But she, who has never like seen or really used a computer, was like very well versed with Shopify backend.
Oh really?
And right now, like I think she knows the intricacies of Shopify so well, I think better than
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is,
I was shocked.
Yeah.
And she, I think that's what I get from and I learn from her is that at any age is no bar. And
not giving up.
Not giving up and learning something which is so challenging. People are really afraid to really even attempt it. But here she was really doing it all.
People of our age also don't attempt. They're like,
Exactly.
website बनाना है, देखेंगे, बाद में देखेंगे, somebody will make it.
Somebody will make it.
Yeah.
So that's how it happened. And in that year, I realized that I because I was experiencing both these things parallelly, I realized that I don't want to work in a corporate.
Yeah.
And no matter where this is right now, but there is potential. And maybe it was not earning as much as the salary was paying me.
Yeah.
But
it never does, right? When you start, it never does.
It never does.
Yeah.
And then वो 1 साल का training period था. And only in the training period we had like a 1 day का what do you say, that you put your resignation and you just have 1 day notice period. Only 1 day notice period. I used that. So I was like, ये training period में ही मुझे भागना पड़ेगा because once I get it, वो 2 महीने फिर वो प्रमोशन का प्रॉमिस करेंगे,
Yeah,
4
yeah.
महीना the
Then
next
you will
year.
not be able to.
Then I will not be able to do it, and I had to give back like 2.5-3 lakhs of joining bonus.
Yeah.
So that was like a big amount at that time, and I remember कि उधर मैंने वो कैसे, because 1 दिन का notice period था. Some bank transfer, I don't know what was the issue. I had to like really remove that money from ATM
And give it.
and like in a bag.
Yeah.
I have handed it over to my boss, and I was like, please let me go. And I was back, and then I
Yeah.
think 2019 I got back. 2018, 2019 I was working remotely, and since then it was just the two of us, and now we are a team of over 100. So it's I honestly don't know how I have done it because I don't have
Yeah.
corporate experience as well. But I think as entrepreneurs, you're just used to figuring things out.
Yeah.
So I think that's helped, and we have a good product, is what I believe. And
I was actually coming to that. That I think most of us who have organically grown, who
Yeah.
are bootstrapped,
yeah,
who have not burned a lot of money on digital marketing
Yeah.
and have been having conservative budgets
Yeah.
to grow the brand.
Hmm.
I think the baseline for all such people, all such brands is the creativity and the product,
yeah,
the focus that we have on the product. So I am actually going to ask you about that in this particular
Hmm.
segment. That I have read that you started with saris and
Hmm.
dresses both.
Hmm.
So did you actually have a strategy when you started the product line,
Hmm.
or did you grow organically from that perspective also?
Hmm.
What was your thought process when you were, was it just ready-mades?
Hmm.
Was it saris and ready-mades?
Hmm.
How did you plan for it?
So honestly, at that time there was no strategy as such because we were doing this out of passion. But even now, so strategy honestly comes second, and like our liking and the product is always like first. So back
Yeah.
then, we were doing dresses and kurtas, and we wanted to do saris because Ajrak has a craft. I mean, when we were working with the artisans, we were seeing the kind of saris that they were making, and they were so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was not strategically thought, but it was more out of the liking of the product, and we thought that I think this would be something that the customers would also really love.
Yeah.
And that's how we got saris into the picture, and we kind of marketed it differently because we thought that abhi saris to bahut log kar rahe hain. And like, how do we really make it different and tell people that
Yeah, this is different.
it's different, and we are also doing saris. So
Yeah.
then Instagram at that time had just started reels,
अच्छा.
and just मतलब वो COVID के time
हाँ.
उसके 2020
Yeah.
types. And then we thought के why don't we dance?
चलेगा.
Why don't we dance in a sari?
Yeah.
To show that the sari is super light, it's
Yeah.
super comfortable, and if you can basically in the range of things that you can do, apart from walking, you can do as complicated things as like dancing
Yeah.
with full energy. So
True.
that's what we wanted to show, and that's how we did the saris. And now we've now since we've interacted with customers more, and it's been a good time, we understand what customers want. So it's more of an insight that comes from a customer and a customer need.
हाँ. So वहाँ से strategy now with this.
Yeah, now so that's the kind of like now cord sets are really in, so we have more
Yeah.
cord sets.
Yeah.
Kurtas are seeing a new kind of they're being seen in a new light, so we are also changing
Yeah.
the designs, etc. And so now it's more strategy oriented, but when we started it was more passion and less strategy.
हाँ. जो पसंद आ रहा है.
जो पसंद आ रहा है
लेके जाओ.
वो कर.
Yeah.
Because I think once you reach a particular scale, then you really have to
Yeah. I know.
think through and then
Yeah. वो सब फिर price range match करो,
Correct.
3G match करो, वो सब हो जाएगा.
and that's not something we didn't come with this knowledge.
Yeah.
So,
It's acquired.
It's all acquired.
Yeah.
So, when people ask me, how do you do it?
Hmm.
I always say that you will figure out
Yeah.
when you reach there. And with every scale, you have a different problem,
Hmm.
which is very
True.
unique to that scale,
True.
which you've not anticipated.
हाँ. So this is about strategy, but I still want to understand कि जैसे when I am doing jewelry, there are certain things which is a big no-no for me.
Correct.
Like for example, I will never buy a mass manufactured product. So that is a big no-no for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, so I will never give 60% silver, 70% silver, 80% silver and call it 92.5,
Correct.
which is usually the case.
Correct.
That is how I do it.
Yeah.
When I see your clothes, when I touch the fabric, I know that there's a lot of thought that has gone into deciding कि कौन से मटेरियल में क्या टाइप का बनेगा रेडी.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm trying to ask you. That knowledge, I think, of course, your mother
Yeah.
was always
Correct.
into it, so you knew. But along the way, have you learned from your carriers, from the people who manufacture, from the factories where you actually block print? Have you
Yeah.
learned a lot of things, technical things,
Yeah.
from these people?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I'm asking this question is because a lot of people are scared to make mistakes and scared to explore. कि मतलब if I'm from Pune and if I want to start something, मैं पुणे में बैठूंगी तो कुछ नहीं होगा.
Correct.
So that is what I'm wanting to ask.
Yeah.
Did you go a lot to these places, these villages where all of this is made, and how did you kind of come to this space where you understand what product you're making?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there was a lot of research that went in because when we got into the business, we knew कि हमें block printing पसंद है, but block
Correct.
printing में भी मतलब there is Ajrak, there is Dabu, there is Bagh,
Yeah.
so all that knowledge we didn't have. But you know, once we got connected to one artisan, we went there, we understood the craft, we understood the limitations of the design and what is possible, not possible, and getting really ground knowledge from the artisan के not every craft can look good on every fabric.
Yeah.
So, for example, Ajrak के colors और उठ के आते हैं in silks. So,
Right.
so it's a lot about learning from them because all these they are generational artisans.
Yeah.
So
Traditional arts.
traditional and what they can give you, no, I think no school etc.
Yeah.
can really give. So from there we got connected to different artisans and we really went there and understood what was unique about that craft. And a couple of things we understood that as a brand, what we didn't want to do is we didn't want to do anything digitally printed.
Yeah.
We didn't want to
Screen
do
print.
screen printed because the core of this was, you know, it being hand block printed and the beauty lies in that.
Yeah.
And if not hand block printed, then if we are doing embroidery, like the pieces that you just saw,
Yeah.
they are on like
Hand embroidery.
hand embroidery, which takes a lot of time. It's expensive work. It's not machine done.
Correct.
The fabric
Yeah.
is like pure chandeli. So we did not have all this knowledge, but you know, as and when you work with the artisans, you see what is there, you sample some fabrics,
Yeah.
you really understand what goes with what. And I think mom inherently had that basic aptitude, but it's more on learning on the go and ensuring that first it's as you mentioned, you know, Adya doesn't do anything that is mixed. It's same with us. Like we
Yeah.
know that the fabrics need to be pure, so we
Yeah.
don't do like
Don't mix.
we don't mix, we don't do
Correct.
your polyesters etc. The fabric is pure 100% and that is where it starts, and then there is value addition of block printing etc.
Correct.
that is done on it.
Part two of being so honest with the craft
Hmm.
is that you need to educate your customers a lot. Because I'm sure you get these questions where people say कि कॉटन का कुर्ता तो 300 में भी मिल जाता है,
Yeah.
700 में भी मिल जाता है, और आपका 1800 में,
Hmm.
whatever is your, you know,
Correct.
release. But so how do you kind of process these questions?
Hmm.
Because I think a lot of brands who are into handcrafted and handmade arts, maybe clothes, apparels, furniture, everything. I think even jewelry. Everybody gets this question कि इतनी सी चीज है तो इतना पैसा क्यों लेना है?
Correct.
How do you generally educate your customers? What are different ways? And also, do you think it's important that your team also speaks the same language, because every place you can't give answers? So how do you do?
Absolutely. I think it's a very essential question that you asked, that at the end everything boils down to के वो है तो cotton. So people don't really
Correct.
know what the process is, and I think it first starts with you really understanding the why and really internalizing it and ensuring, because now you know, when you're growing, it's not only you who takes care of everything, but the team is really in there, understands it and really believes
Yeah.
in that in
Thought
what
process,
in your thought process and the product. So it starts with really kind of connecting the vendors with the team and educating them about because it's technical. The answers are technical in nature, because it's natural dyed, it's not chemically printed. So
Yeah.
if it's natural dyed, क्या उससे फर्क पड़ता है? So we show a lot of stories. We send our team to the artisans where they capture the entire process.
Yeah.
From like how your farm to table. It's how the
Basic.
like right from the grassroots level, how the entire process functions, and there's so many hands that go into making a handcrafted product. When we started putting those stories really
it
out
makes-
there,
Yeah.
people really understand that, oh, I'm so proud of buying a product which is
True.
being made this way and it's not machine made.
Hmm.
And I think even with the garment that goes, we send a lot of literature with the price tags that are attached, which we
So
want
there
people to
information.
read.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
information on how to care with the product, what to expect. Now, for example, what I'm wearing, unlike a chemically dyed digital product, which will last you which might not lose color. The basic nature of handcrafted clothes is that
It loses color.
over over a time, they do lose a bit of color because that's how they're made. They're naturally made.
Yeah.
So anything that is done naturally is not permanent. But the beauty of it is in whatever number of times that you wear is how it makes you
Yeah.
look, and the process that really goes
Yeah.
behind it. And all this is made from
Softness, yeah.
exactly, and the colors will rub on your hand also because
Yes.
it's natural.
Yeah.
And even when you wash, it's not called bleeding, but because of the drying process, etc., it does
Lose the
kind of
extra color.
lose the extra color. So we have to constantly even when they order on the product page, we have literature
Yeah.
of the process.
Yeah.
Even when in the notifications that go to them, we kind of
How
very
to
overtly
clean. Yeah.
and what to expect. So I think expectation clearing and really putting that story out on all your touch points is very, very important. Otherwise, people would question that why am I paying so much. So we really focus on the storytelling also of the back end, even of our workshop and how the product is made, because we also put a lot of focus into making those products even in the quality of stitching,
Yes.
because it's not something that your usual tailor will make for you.
Hmm.
There is more thought, there's more
Yeah.
detailing
Yeah.
that really goes into the process. So we try to capture that story and constantly keep informing customers so that, and I think now they know, like when we meet in person, I know when the words, they use similar words that we really
Yeah.
communicate. So I think the storytelling part visually and continuously is really kind of driving the message.
Yeah. So I think in your tags, on your social media, on your website, on your product pages, everywhere you need to educate
Totally.
people. You also did exhibitions very recently.
Yes.
Did you actually talk to a lot of customers and kind of were they also asking you similar questions? Because
Yeah.
it's a very known, well established, it's a very favorite brand
Yeah.
for people. Do you still get these kind of questions from people who, when they
We
meet
do.
you and we have to patiently answer? Why I'm asking this question is because from outside, a lot of people think that a few brands have now made it national.
Yeah.
Everybody knows these brands and selling is so easy. But I think it gets more and more
Tough.
and more difficult every day because you have to match the expectations and also
Yeah.
you have to keep the quality and you have to also answer the questions in such a way that you don't feel like you're there.
Yeah.
So, that's why I'm asking you this question, that do people still ask you these questions? And
Yeah, I think you said it rightly. I think the problem kind of is easier when you're smaller and larger when you're bigger, because there are more people that you're dealing with. And even now we keep getting asked these questions that अरे आपके कपड़े तो वो 3-4 वॉश में बहुत ही कलर छोड़ते हैं. फिर ये श्रिंक हो गए क्या, ये मेरे हाथ पे क्यों ब्लू कलर आ रहा है. So and especially when you're face to face, you have to be more patient because there are 10
Absolutely.
people also listening
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
And it's very important that you're communicating the right thing so that the message is correctly informed and they understand it well. And then I think once you really tell them, they appreciate it at the end of the day. But it's a lot of communication that you have to continuously keep doing, and I don't think it gets easier as you grow.
Absolutely.
You have to continuously really keep telling and standing by and not really changing the product by the questions that are asked.
True.
So focus on education no matter how difficult it is. Like I know that I will never make a product. I will not stop. Maybe we will eventually create products which are different, but I will never lose what is handcrafted, the crux of it, because people feel that way, because this is what we are offering, and which is why you are buying this product and valuing it because of what we are offering.
Yeah. I think a large part of your brand, which is known to so many people is the social media bit of it.
Mm.
And we spoke about it.
Mm.
I think the first connect on
Mm.
internet for me was your social
Mm.
media, and I was like, oh wow, there's a very pleasant feel to the entire content that you have. I know that you are a dancer, and maybe because you were so creative, most of it came naturally.
Mm.
But I think after a certain level of followers, which happens organically, like pehle 1 lakh, 2 lakh, you will get looking at the freshness and everything.
Mm.
But I think after that, there's a lot of thought process, consistency. There's a lot of showing up on
Yeah.
social media all the time. I actually want to understand that part, and especially for the women entrepreneurs, because there's a lot of shyness, there's a lot of resistance in entrepreneurs where they are like, I don't put anything on Instagram. I am like, I hardly put something on Instagram. And I have myself also gone through that phase where I'm like, mujhe nahi, like I don't want to make a video, I don't want to show myself and all of that. So actually I get inspired by a lot of women entrepreneurs, and you included in that you're consistently showing up, like, consistently making content. So I want you to kind of guide a lot of people who are watching this as to why is that bit of the business so important, and how much traffic is it driving, and what is the percentage of traffic that is driven to your website from that social media content making.
Yeah, I think you've already very clearly said those two recipes which are there for content. Is like, one is showing up,
Yeah.
and second is showing up consistently. So showing up no matter what, and no matter who you are, I think at this time and age, it's so important for social media, because absolutely everything that we do, and every time I interact with a customer, they've told us that they've seen us on Instagram. It's not an ad,
Yeah.
and it's an organic Instagram reach that they've come from. Why it is important is because I think marketing mein you're spending so much of money, and it's always going to be, I mean, as you scale, there's always going to be the factor with which you get your returns is going to decline.
Correct.
The more you grow.
Yeah.
So
The ROAS.
yeah,
Has
the
been
ROAS
more.
has been
Yeah.
so when you're smaller, obviously you'll get a bigger buck for the money that you invest. But as you grow, I mean that factor really doesn't
Yeah.
give you the returns that you want, and at the end it's a zero-sum game. And you're not really building a brand that is connecting with a larger set of audience in a memorable way with ads. So it's more transactional.
Yes.
And now, because people are always on Instagram, I think marketing का एक ही advertising का फंडा है, you have to be where your customer is.
Yeah.
तो अगर आपका customer Instagram पे है,
तो
आपको Instagram पे होना ही है. And I feel that now people are so open to kind of watching such diverse content from diverse people without any judgment. In fact,
Absolutely. Good times. Yeah.
Great times.
Yeah.
You see creators becoming actors, which has not happened before.
Yeah.
So it's become such a level playing field. In fact, brands used to rely on such expensive marketing. I feel like it has made now is the best time for even smaller brands to reach a global audience, because it costs you nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's a no-brainer for me, because mera
Yeah.
investment, of course I'm investing my time and investing some resources, but you can start with absolutely nothing and just your
Just a
phone.
phone.
So
Yeah.
it's a no investment kind of a game that gives you the reach to such a wide audience, which was not possible back then. Matlab,
Yeah.
people had to rely on advertising on TV, which was ek to
TV hoardings, print, very
all
expensive.
very expensive,
Yeah.
out of reach, I would say. Not people would have the know-how. So I think times are so simpler.
Yeah.
I don't. It's a totally no-brainer for me,
Yeah.
and I think
And it's free.
it's free. Like,
Use it.
as an entrepreneur, you're just waiting to cut
Yeah.
costs
Yeah.
everywhere, especially when you're bootstrapped. And once you show up, I think people know कि अच्छा ये brand नहीं है, ये कोई real person इसको चला रहा है जो मेरे जैसा है, और there is some bond that you're building with the
Yeah.
customer. And like whenever we go for exhibition, people are like, I love to see your content because it puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
When I see your faces. So I think that when you also see that translating into love, that also kind of motivates you
Yeah.
to be there. But I think three things. I think you just have to do it, push yourself, and be there no matter how you might be as a person. If even if you're introverted, etc., that's like the need of the business.
Yeah.
That's all I would say, and it's simple. All you have to do is just go there and talk.
Talk. Yeah.
And even if you don't have a strategy in place कि अरे मेरा content बहुत अच्छा नहीं दिख रहा है, it's not really high on quality, it will eventually come.
Yeah.
But you need to start
You will evolve.
somewhere. You will evolve.
You will.
And
Yeah.
like I don't think all this setup is what you also must have started
Not
with.
at all. Not at all.
Exactly. You
Not
just
at all.
started small and then eventually
Yeah.
you figure things out, and I think that
Absolutely.
and the reach, I'm sure even you've experienced.
Yeah.
The way an organic content reaches to people who are not actively finding or looking for your brand,
Yeah.
and the way, the quality with which and the interest with which they would interact would be much different than an ad would look.
Yeah.
I think they stay back with you also for a longer time for that, and a lot of our, in terms of the exhibition that we had, close to 90% of people came from Instagram. Like,
See?
yeah, exactly.
So a newspaper ad would have costed you lakhs, and maybe those many people wouldn't turn up. Or the ones who turned up will not understand what you're getting there. But people from Instagram actually came
in.
bought because they know what you've been
Yeah,
doing.
and like over a period of 2 days, there were like 700, 800 people that came. And
Which is amazing, right? In a city where you do not have a store.
we don't have a store,
Yeah.
exactly. And people were calling me by my name. So, people
Yes.
already feel like they
They
know
know
you.
you.
They've
Yeah.
spoken to you.
Correct.
So there's a lot of like friendliness
Yeah.
when you really meet your customer in person. I think the power of the brand is all because of social media.
Yeah.
So the power is insane.
So we did this exhibition in Nasik,
Huh.
just because you said that the love that you get. So there was this. So we did 3 exhibitions in a span of year and a half in
Huh.
Nasik. The first exhibition we we had this customer who was pregnant, like heavily pregnant.
Huh.
The next time she came, there was a baby which was around 3-4 months. And the next exhibition we did, she was like 1 year old. And we had pictures, and I was like,
How
like
sweet.
all exhibitions we have met her. And it's a different feeling. Like, I do not even remember her name right now. But
Yeah.
it's like you just know the face and you make that connection.
Yeah.
And I think it's something which is, you can leave the business side apart, but
Yeah.
this is something so important that you kind of get from social media.
True.
It's how you use it. I
Yeah.
think.
And I think social media, you also get to reach people internationally.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
that is,
Correct.
wouldn't be possible even in your traditional advertising. Your ad would
Ways.
literally, would only reach a certain section of people. You're like reaching out to people globally, and I think the community is so interconnected, and
Yeah.
people share with their friends.
Sharing. Exactly.
So I think you reach a lot more people when you even though you're reaching this one person.
पहले तो I think it was like this कि जो बड़े brands हैं, they would do TV and holdings and everything.
Yeah.
And you would know those brands.
Yeah.
And then there were local businesses.
Yeah.
जो सिर्फ वो city में पता है, या तो maybe in that state people know about it.
Yeah.
Now I think it has bridged the gap
Yeah.
because of the social media. I think everybody knows everybody.
Totally.
I have another question for you, which is a business question that will shift to more, personal entrepreneurship point of view questions. But this question is about funding. We haven't spoken a lot about the entire finance part of the business, which I think is extremely crucial. I don't know if you've done your MBA in finance. I don't
No, I've done in marketing.
but I think there's still this little side of finance which is covered in that. So a lot of entrepreneurs often we read so many news articles, and there are these programs now about entrepreneurship, and so the entire funding part where you kind of dilute and get funded and dilute equity and show up everywhere possible
Yeah.
is in trend. But there are few of us who have never kind of gone that way, and
Yeah.
constantly trying to kind of run the business on its own, keeping the entire equity to ourselves and trying to establish the brand. So, do you first think it's a conscious choice that you've made to remain bootstrapped? And how difficult it is to kind of, because there are months when it is hand to mouth, no matter what your
Correct.
revenue is. I think it is hand to mouth in some months are great, some months are okay. So I want to understand that part of the business,
Yeah.
and especially for the ones who have probably just started, which is doing maybe 1 or 2 lakhs a month right
Yeah.
now. So, for them.
Yeah. So I honestly feel, see, funding is not bad, but the intention with which you want funding is what is the questionable
You need
part.
it.
Exactly.
Right.
People are not understanding funding क्यों
चाहिए.
चाहिए, क्यों, why do I need it, and it can be very personal.
Yeah.
So a lot of people these days I think are wanting funding because it's really in. And you're attracting, and it's a trend, and probably they're very profitable, doing good numbers, doing sustainable growth, but still मतलब उनको funding देना है because अरे funding है तो मतलब लोगों को लगेगा मेरा business successful है.
Correct.
उसके अलावा लोगों को नहीं लगेगा कि मेरा business successful है. अगर funding है तो means it has been vetted by
किसी ने sign कर दिया,
credibility है और मेरा business successful है, and that's not how it works. In fact, with funding, I think you need to have a very set goal on why you are taking that funding. If you know you are running the business profitably and if you want to grow sustainably, then you don't really need funding. मतलब आपका यही business, maybe you will not do 2x, 3x in 1 year.
Yeah.
You won't go from a 10 to 100 in a year.
Yeah.
You will eventually get there, and that's how all the businesses in India, the family-run businesses, have been growing, and there are big names that are there which have no funding but have reached that.
3-4 साल में नहीं हुआ.
नहीं हुआ है. It happens. You have to consistently, as content, show up very diligently and be very patient. Funding is another route that you can definitely take if you are looking at that kind of growth, and if you have that goal for yourself that okay, this business I have started with the intention of growing it for 4-5 years, and I want to grow it massively in a couple of years, and without funding
it's not.
वो नहीं, मतलब वो that goal needs to be very clear in your head. और वो plan है कि हाँ ये business है, even if it is profitable, but if I want to grow exponentially in the next 2 years. For example, I can't open 15 stores on my own.
Correct.
The next year if I have to. That I can do if I have funding.
Correct.
And if I want it for the brand.
तो stores है, resources है,
marketing है, online में भी grow करना है,
online में scalable करना है, manufacturing बढ़ाना है, तो then you need to have goals.
और ये सब आप खुद भी कर सकते हो.
हाँ, but in small chunks.
Small chunks. Yeah. Maybe वो 1 साल में नहीं होगा, वो 10 साल में होगा, but वो होगा जरूर.
Correct.
Because at the end you're only pooling in whatever profits you're made back.
हाँ.
I think the key is to really look at your P&L with a hawk eye.
Yeah.
So basically what I was saying is that funding is great, but you need to have a goal and a clear reason of why the funding. And I think people don't really understand what do they give up when they give funding. उन लोगों को लगता है कि बहुत लोगों को वो पूरी knowledge नहीं है. People think that it's free money. It's not free money. You're giving equity for a valuable business, which maybe you don't value or know the value of it right now, but you are giving a chunk of it to someone. And when you get someone else, you also give a part of your authority, freedom of doing things your way, the way you've envisioned your brand to do. Because there's another person that you also have to consult, and it's very important that if you are ever taking that person is on the same page, that person shares the same vision for the brand as you do, because their goals will always be different. You might want to be building your business with passion, with a certain way, but if they have certain goals of reaching a revenue, as you mentioned, maybe you're not into doing mass jewelry, but if you're doing say a 5 CR, and if you have to hit a 50 CR kind of a goal in 1 year,
तो लगेगा फंडिंग तो
मतलब वो मार्केटिंग में आपको बर्न करना पड़ेगा. You will do it at a temporary loss for a couple of years and then eventually make profit. So it's a full different ball game, and if you're doing it yourself, there is nothing wrong. If you're making money at the end of the day, it's a trade-off. And I think for me is that I at this point in time, maybe in future that plan might change, but right now I'm really keen to kind of shape the business the way we have envisioned and wanted. And that means that sometimes we take some expensive projects, but that's okay if that doesn't get us much revenue, because that's a passion project that we are pursuing. I think that somewhere if we have a person who is coming in, that might get compromised. So right now, because we know that we are growing profitably, and sometimes when you're funded, it's a trade-off between your top line, bottom line
Hmm.
in the beginning.
True.
So your top line grows at the expense. Like Amazon, even for the longest time, the Flipkarts
Yes.
aren't making
Yeah.
money because
Yeah.
they're chasing the top line.
Top line.
So, I mean, that's a different game. But this is also great.
Yeah.
Growing slowly, profitably,
Yeah,
no
slow and
matter
steady.
how small it is.
Yeah.
Is good, and you don't need a funding to put a thappa or to kind of
Validate yourself.
validate your success. You are successful.
Yeah.
If you are running a business that is making profit,
You
you are successful,
Yeah.
no matter how small it
Correct.
is.
I think funding पे वो nature of the business also makes a lot of difference.
Correct.
Like अगर कोई ऐसा business हो जिसमें आप से पेन बना रहे हो, पेंसिल
Hmm.
बना रहे हो,
Hmm.
तो आपको पता है कि यही प्रोडक्ट चलने वाला है बहुत
Correct.
साल. Now when you're making creative choices in your
Hmm.
business, I think
Hmm.
it also makes a lot of difference. That
Yeah.
decision I think is quite dependent on that.
Correct.
Acha, now that you're talking about funding,
Hmm.
I also wanted to ask you that now this set of questions is purely, you understanding you as a human being,
Hmm.
as an entrepreneur, or
Hmm.
uske kuch aspects. So what does scare you? Getting up every day and running this business. There are a few things that scare every entrepreneur. You know? So what are some things that scare you when you kind of come to office or think about the business?
What scares me the most is that I have a team of 100 to 125 people that are employed directly.
Yeah.
And they are dependent on the business doing well,
Yeah,
and their livelihoods are dependent on
us doing
us doing well. So
Yeah.
I think that is the greatest responsibility and fear that I have.
Yeah.
That I can't let these people down ever, and I think that's what is my greatest
Primary,
fear and,
yeah.
and also my greatest driver,
Yeah.
because it's so lovely to see, these people who have trusted you to
Yeah, with everything.
with everything and are working with you. So I think my biggest responsibility is for
Yeah.
them. And I'm a skeptic, so I constantly have that fear that kuch galat ho
हाँ.
gaya. Everything is being done by
Yeah.
ourselves internally. So what if I don't know that this is the right way to do it? Because at the end, it's all dependent on the level of knowledge that I
Yeah.
have,
The curiosity
And
that you have.
that
kind
I
of-
have,
Yeah.
and how good or bad the decision is. Because we don't have really experts sitting on
Hmm.
our board
Yeah.
to.
There's no board.
There's no board.
There's no board.
There is no board. We don't have
Yeah, there's
fancy
only a whiteboard.
Only a whiteboard. We don't have fancy CXOs who have years
Yeah.
of experience who
Yeah.
are telling us what to do or who have the experience.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the team that we have don't have prior
Self-learned.
experience.
Yeah, most of them are self.
Because sometimes when you're starting the way we have started, you don't have that kind of money to buy. I mean, to even hire an experienced person. So it's a lot of them have grown with the brand, and now maybe we can afford to a certain level to have that kind of experienced employees. But it's
Resources,
again, it's not like how it is at a larger corporates where you have an entire knowledge and bank and an army of people really working towards strategy, and
Yeah.
so that fear that what if my decision is
Wrong.
wrong,
Yeah.
and at the end it's your money,
Yeah,
and you're
absolutely.
bootstrapped, so you don't have a big fund who's coming to your rescue to kind of let you do let you have expensive mistakes. So it's
Hmm.
my
I like the word. Expensive mistakes.
आई एम कॉन्स्टेंटली कि
Yeah.
ये जो मैंने डिसाइड किया है ये चीज पे स्पेंड करना ये बहुत ज्यादा तो नहीं है ना.
Hmm.
Even when I was doing this exhibition, I had anticipated certain costs, and I was like, okay, this is going to cost me so and so. If I put money in marketing, this would get me this much money. If
Yeah.
this doesn't get me this much
That
money,
is always, I think, the
then I'm
baseline.
stuck.
हाँ.
So that math is like
हाँ.
constantly in my head.
Constantly, yeah.
So-
हम लोग ऐसे ही सोचते हैं कि ये ऑनलाइन में डाला होता तो कितना आता. Yeah.
So that fear of making that expensive mistake, because that recovery is
Hmm.
it can kill you.
Kill you,
Basically, that takes you
True.
2-3 steps back.
दो
which
तीन
is-
महीने लगते हैं
फिर
फिर
again.
नॉर्मल से आने में. Another fear that I always have, and fear से ज्यादा मेरे लिए वो challenge है, that I have a OCD.
हाँ.
I micromanage a lot. जैसे किसी को responsibility दे दिया, I want to see what is happening. Do you also have that?
I
problem?
also
You
do
struggle?
I think that's a classic entrepreneur's problem. I
I
think it
think
is.
bottleneck हो जाता है कभी कभी.
Yeah, and sometimes I think they have to tell me politely to back off.
Yeah.
Then
I
I
have
tell
been
them-
told multiple times, like if I go near the billing table, I'm like, please, they just tell me कि please just stay away because I can't say no to discounts. If I'm billing and if somebody says they don't know 10%, I'm like, हाँ चलो जाने दो दे दो. And they're
Same
like,
here.
they're like, no ma'am, that is going from my percentage.
I
You can't
know.
give it.
I think we should not tell overtly on this video, otherwise people will come to us.
Yes, exactly. So,
But yeah, that's
do you
my
also
problem.
face that problem? Because I think a lot of entrepreneurs have this issue that they want to do everything on their own. And
Yes, and I think that's the biggest I feel impediment to growth, because it's the hard way that I've learned, because I was very averse to hiring a staff because that was cost
and trusting.
and trusting of work. So वो दो चीजें थी. तो पहले I think our growth was also a little slower because we did not hire the right people with the right expertise to kind of help you do really grow. I feel that if a person can do 75 to 80% of your, like, the task you do with that efficiency,
That's okay.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
That's
That's great.
True.
Because you are that much have that much lesser things on your plate to focus on the bigger picture than rather than do
Correct.
things.
Yeah.
So I think now I've consciously learned to delegate, have
Disconnect.
the disconnect,
Yeah.
have the right person for the right job, and set up systems where you can really catch up on a weekly 15-day basis to really understand and guide and know what they're doing right and what they're wrong, but not really get into the daily
Day-to-day aspect.
of things. So I think delegation is a
Extremely
key.
important.
It's very important, and I think having a good number of people in your team and the quality
True.
of people is very important, which I feel that in my initial days, which I didn't really do, and there was a lot on my plate. And once you have that, you kind of, the quality with which you do each task
Yeah.
really gets compromised when there is just
I
one
agree.
person maybe not doing it with
Ha.
the way you really want it,
Yeah.
or with the satisfaction you want, but if that is still getting done with like 75% to 80% accuracy,
Be okay with
efficiency, I am okay with it. So it's a hard lesson,
Yeah.
but getting used to it.
True. We just met your husband
Yeah.
right now. Your sister also shoots.
Yes.
We've seen your mom is your co-founder. You said your dad also is in the office. So I actually want to understand the pros and the cons of working with the family together. What I get a feeling right now here is there's a lot of pros
Yeah.
of working together, but we would like to understand from you, how does it feel to be together family wise
Yeah.
and the workplace also?
So definitely there are pros and there are cons, and as you mentioned, I think the pros do outweigh the cons, and I think the biggest pro is that I get to be with my family every
Yeah.
single day, and that to me is very important because my parents are also aging, so I would
Yeah,
love
you
to
want to
really
be
be
with them.
closer to them. And I think girls, after they get married, they see less of their parents
Yeah.
because they are away from the family. So I feel it's been great for me because
Yeah.
I'm lesser at my sasural to call it. Actually, my mother-in-law also works with us.
Oh really?
She works at a store. She manages the store.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I mean,
so we've converted this into
entire family is into this.
Yeah, and there is a lot of trust because they are families, so
Yeah.
you can blindly trust them. And I think each of us brings in a very different perspective and personality into the picture. Like my mom is more of कर लेंगे देखते फिर क्या होगा. My dad is more of a
The risk appetite is more with your mom, is
Risk
what I'm understanding.
appetite is
Yeah.
very is high. My dad is a little conservative.
Hmm.
Saurabh is more balanced. I'm more like impulsive.
हाँ.
So I
चलो
think
कर लेते हैं.
yeah, so I think each personality brings in something, and each of us are now managing very different and important aspects of
Business.
the business. And what happens when you are a co-founder, when you have family, is then that part of the business you can really switch off. And
Yes.
as you mentioned, the OCD can be a little less because there is some more
Yeah,
trust,
relief.
that relief that this too will happen properly. So I think that's a pro. Another pro is that all money is coming home. So
That's the best part.
that's the best part. And but I feel that the con is that you're constantly if you're at your dinner table, at your lunch table,
Talking
on your
business.
holidays, you're constantly talking about business, and sometimes to really cut off,
Yeah, it's very difficult.
it is very, very difficult, and you kind of have a little, you know,
I know.
time off and fights here and there, because you're constantly doing that together.
Yeah.
Building a small brand like this where every day is so important,
Yeah.
and every decision is so important. It's chaotic, but I feel that definitely the pros outweigh the cons, and I can get Lily to office.
Yes.
My pet.
Silently
So
being part of the interview.
yes, and I think a lot of cost savings also because of that, because a lot of
Yeah.
important tasks are being managed by
Hmm.
the people who are not going to be transactional. They will do it
Hmm.
whenever they want,
Correct.
the way they want. So
Yeah. That's true.
definitely many pros than cons.
Yeah. Which is amazing, I think, now that you said your mother-in-law is managing the store.
And we had not anticipated so many people. In fact, my husband just joined us last July. So
Acha.
he had his own business that he was doing with his father and brother. And then I kind of told him that, the brand is growing.
And we need you.
We need you. And I think it's great because I think the women started the business and the men have joined
Yeah.
after
See?
that.
Yeah.
And you would always, think about joining your dad's business or whoever, brother's business. But I think the times are changing, and that I feel really proud of.
Yeah. That brings me to my next question. Ki, this entire thing of you starting something and then your father, your husband joining in, I think it's a great message in your action for a lot of women, for a lot of girls out there who are looking forward to build something like what you've done.
Yeah.
And I think it is best to not preach or talk about it, but just like do it and people see it.
Yeah.
So I actually want you to kind of, tell us an incident or anything that you think is very crucial as a woman in running the business, because there are a lot of, like plethora of reasons that are given on platforms where a lot of women entrepreneurs talk to each other, why they took a break or why the business has slowed down.
Yeah.
And I think those reasons need to be gender agnostic is
Yeah.
what I always feel. So I actually want to understand your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I honestly, with all the women that I've met who, tried to do a business and have not done for whatsoever reason, is that the belief and confidence in themselves is not there. I don't know, why don't they believe that they can run a business?
Yeah.
It's probably their family and the people around them have constantly told them that you can't. But that belief is something I feel is missing, and if that is there, that I think your knowledge, skills come secondary, but that belief and confidence in yourself to really do that and figure out if that you can really give yourself, I think rest all will be easy. Because constantly we see men running businesses, men being the bread earner of the family, they having that, and somewhere you feel that it's easier
for them,
and they can do it better. Like somewhere I feel that they have ये लोग इतने मतलब जनरेशन से करके ये लोग कर सकते, बट मैं नहीं कर सकती, बस मुझे like I won't be able to do it. So I think once you shed that off, that in itself is so powerful once you start believing in yourself. And I think if you are confident and the way you conduct yourself is how much a person will respect you, give you that I think the way you treat yourself
is the best.
Is the way another person is going to treat you. So that if you are okay with someone misbehaving with you, telling you certain things, if
that you can't
allow that, then people don't take you seriously. But if you believe in yourself, if you conduct yourself in a certain way, I think that's the first step.
Yeah.
Everything else is
learnable. Yeah.
But like belief in yourself and confidence in yourself is
the most important.
Yeah.
So, come to our last question. I would like you to tell all the audiences and me too 3 big no's when you're running a business and 3 big, yeses or great things that one must do when you're running a business. We'll start with the no's first and then conclude with the yeses.
I think with the no's, it would be that if you're running this business on your own and if you're bootstrapped, I think doing things small before really going big is very, very important, is what I feel, because you don't know how that decision might turn out. So I'm always against just taking a very big step and not really knowing the outcome. So I would always suggest try test on a smaller scale before you really go
Do
big.
POC.
Yeah, totally. And I think a big no would also be that when you're starting off, I think just giving off uh, things to an outside agency is what I kind of I
Correct.
don't recommend, because I feel that the brand you when you're beginning, you know the brand the best in all its essence, and somewhere they really don't absorb, and sometimes it's only money for them, and
Yeah.
it's not really
Yeah.
it's not really the brand
You will have your heart in it.
you'll have.
Brand
Yeah,
concept.
so I would suggest that anything that you do, first try to at least have working knowledge of that before you give that all away, so that you can at least uh, question them on the how and the why. So
Yeah.
so that is one thing that I say. And no, let me think, but I think a yes would be that don't be fearful to, I think just trying and going for it and showing up is like, I think the job half done. Just whatever you have in your mind, even if you're thinking about starting a business, okay, I will plan it well. I think the plans will follow, but really jumping it and doing it, because I think you figure out everything once you're in
Yeah.
it. But taking
Start.
that first step is what I think is required. I think really treating your employees well is something I really value a lot.
Yeah.
So even I don't believe in like cutting corners just to. I don't save money on by paying less or
Yeah,
cutting
that's
corners
non-negotiable.
on
Yeah.
on employees, because I don't believe in that. I think there are better ways to kind of manage
Cut
your
your costs.
P&L
Yeah.
than doing that. So I always believe in fair pay wherever we go. So even in the exhibition, it was the first time we had not expected what we would do. We had a big team that came, and because we did numbers, and I know how arduous
Yeah.
exhibitions can be, we did a profit distribution for them on the money we made. So I just feel that going that little little traveling a smaller mile for them is
Going to
really
take you a long way.
going to get you a long way, and treating your employees well is so important. And initially we had a lot of churn in terms of people coming, leaving in a couple of months. But I think now when we came into a bigger space and the team really connected, the
With
energy
each other. Yeah.
and having a non-negotiable, that you can't treat even internally, like no manager will treat their employees. Having a culture,
Yeah. Work ethic
especially
is
when
very
you're
strong.
growing, I think when you're growing, you need to have a culture that your employees will embody and stand by,
True.
and that I really ensure that everyone is treated well. No one is really bossing around anyone, no matter who it is. So I think culture for me, when you're building a brand for your employees, is very, very important. And I think another no would be, I think, hire for the attitude and not the skills. I feel that
Absolutely. Completely agree with you.
skills will be learned,
Yeah.
but the attitude
Yeah.
and integrity
Yeah.
and discipline is very, very, very important. So I don't care how skilled that person is, but if that person is not, that attitude is not right, it's a definite no for me.
Yeah, actually, I think the startup hiring process
Yeah.
needs some kind of standardization, because when you meet people, you have to tell them that we are not hiring you for one primary responsibility.
Yeah.
You always have to delve into
Exactly.
so many things, because it's like we also do not know how much
Yeah.
we need to do. Like we are sitting doing Facebook marketing, creating content, making clothes, designing, looking at P&L, doing everything together. So I
True.
think you need to build employees, and nowadays I feel that it's very important that you hire startup resource rather than assigning or tagging that person to a particular department.
Yeah, I think in the beginning it's so important that that person is fungible totally and is
Correct.
ready to do anything and everything. And if he has a problem doing even the smallest tasks, I don't want to hire him.
Yeah.
Like when I go for an exhibition, If there's a cup fallen down, I pick it up and throw it.
Yeah,
So
we do
you also
everything.
you have to do everything. And if you feel small in doing that, then
Yeah.
you're not meant for it. And there was one more point that came to my mind to tell business owners is that don't feel shy in spending at least some money in marketing in the beginning.
True.
Because what happens is that a lot of brands that remain small are those people who have kind of shied away from really investing into growing. So I don't think you can grow without investing
Investing in-
some money into through advertising, marketing, and once you see that cycle really coming into picture is when you will. So that's a lot of people, smaller brands reach out that how do you do this, and they are very expensive.
Yeah,
So
that's very important.
doing 1-2 products, selling 1-2 products, and making a big money is
Not possible.
you're not then that is not a business.
Yeah.
So if you have that aspiration to do that business, you also have to have that heart to first spend
Spend.
something,
Yeah.
and so don't shy away from
Yeah. To reach people.
to reach people is what I would
Yeah.
say.
Amazing. I think a lot of entrepreneurs are going to derive a lot of amazing stories and things from what you've said.
I'm glad that you're doing this for that.
As simple as it might sound, but what we say is very practical. I think there might not be, some amazing words that we've used,
Yeah.
which are marketing, words or words from a marketing book.
Yeah.
But I think what has happened right now is what has gone in last so many years to build this particular brand. We are going to end this interview by understanding what are your dreams for your brand, and that's going to be the last section of this interview. So we would like to know what are your dreams for your brand. Where do you see yourself in the future?
I think my only dream is that since childhood it was my sister and I wearing my mom's clothes. So it's my dream to see each and every person wearing
Your
the
mom's
Indian ethnic, my mom's
Yes.
clothes at some point in time, and I think that will be the impact and a
Yeah.
dream that I want to live by, to see my mom's clothes on like each and every person in India and abroad.
Amazing. I think that's the best answer that we've gotten today. Thank you so much, Lekini, for doing this.
Thank
And
you so
I
much,
think everybody is going to love what you've said. Thank
I'm
you.
glad. Thank you so much.